Earlier today, I went to get some breakfast at my favorite grocery store, and I won't name what store it is, but I'm just gonna say I'm very disappointed that instead of seeing other shoppers, I saw a bunch of assistants from a local startup collecting orders for other customers. And so people order online, and somebody actually goes into the store, buys hundreds of different meals, and then comes out into his truck. And that seems to be the norm here in the Seattle, especially the east side area. I want to say that when I go shopping for groceries or electronics or even collectible coins or even a car, I'm not just buying those items. I'm also buying a bunch of experience and networking and potentially my future wife. I'll give you an example. My first day when I was my first day at my PhD program, I caused a little trouble with a classmate. Actually, this was back in the mid 2000s. I had wanted to stand at my desk. This was before standing desks were popular nowadays, and so I had to make a makeshift standing desk, if you will. And what I'd done was I went around the office. I was sharing an office with two other people, and I saw a bunch of textbooks on the bookshelf, and I thought they were older edition. I thought somebody had just not gotten rid of them yet. And I placed them underneath my computer, and I just called it a standing desk. And I didn't think much of it until later that day. I heard a commotion in the office. I was returning to the office when I heard a commotion that one of my classmates couldn't find his books. And it startled the hell out of me. I knew where his books were, but I didn't want to confess to him. You see, I used to have a lot of social anxiety. There are two things that I did wrong there. The first thing was I could have asked any of the school administrators for a standing desk, and even if they didn't have a standing desk, I'm sure they could have come up with a better solution than putting books underneath the computer monitor. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was I could have apologized to my classmate and used that as an opportunity to talk to him, but I used to be so closed in, I didn't know how to do either of those things. I'm very embarrassed now thinking back at it. I have this problem a lot, even today. Sometimes when I go to a grocery store and I'm looking for an item, you see, the problem is sometimes I don't know the items that I want by name. I only know their colors. I only know what it looks like to see them in my eye. It almost reminds me of, who was it, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, that said people only know what they want when they see it. And sometimes I literally remember items like that. Sometimes I don't even remember things by their names or by their descriptions. I kind of sometimes I don't use language. You see, when I put something in my mind, sometimes it doesn't store into my mind as English. And by that, I don't mean I'm storing it in some foreign language. I'm literally storing it in code in my head sometimes. And when people ask me what I want, sometimes I literally have to spend 30 seconds translating it back to English. It is so awkward sometimes for me. I think that's part of the condition that I have. But sometimes, but I love going to the store and networking with people, because when I run into this, it gives me something. It gives me a learning experience, and I'd much rather have that awkward experience at the shopping center than at my workplace. And unfortunately, that's rapidly disappearing. I've been to a few stores now that only have self-checkout. I mean, self-checkout is nice when you're buying something that's a little bit on the embarrassing side. But some places only have them. I went to Japan a few years ago, and some of those places only have self-checkout, mostly because they don't have the real estate for even a cashier at some places. And I used to have problems like that. I used to sometimes, a lot of times actually, I would walk away from a conversation wishing I had said something, like immediately, like 5 minutes after the end of the conversation. Oh, I should have said that. And I can't count how many times I've done that. And I really despise when it happens in the workplace. When it happens in my personal life, oh my God, I should have said that to that girl. I could live with that. But mistakes like that, the workplace, tend to compound one on top of the next. Mistakes of not picking up a girl at the at a place, that doesn't compound. You learn it with the next girl, so that's a little different. I try to do my best not to participate in any of this online craziness for this reason. Thanks for watching.